Hello students, welcome back to our video. So in the last video we completed with the various social responsibility of business towards the various stakeholders. Okay, so now in today's video we are going to discuss about the business unit and the preservations of environment. How to preserve the environment and how business preserves the environment. We are going to discuss that, okay. When the world is facing very difficult problems of global warming. You all know that now the world is facing very difficult problem of the global warming, and actions have been taken for its resistance. The business unit must have to participate in it. It becomes a social responsibility for a unit to abide by the environmental standards enacted by the government. As a part of social responsibility, a business unit has to make its business with consideration of 4 different sectors of environmental preservation. So, when the world is facing the problem of global warming, and of course the actions are also taken, but it is the social responsibility of every business unit to follow the rules of environment which is presented or which is given by the government. Okay, so there are four different sectors of environmental preservations. So in that, the first is land and forest preservation. There is a need of land establishment of a unit. If it was possible to cut down trees as a requirement for this land, then it becomes a social responsibility to grow new trees by plantation in that ratio. In short, we can say that this means that if trees are needed to be cutted down, right? So in front of that also, it is also the responsibility to grow the new trees in that proportion ratio which is cutted down. Okay? So along with it is a responsibility of a unit to look after not to affect the productivity of surroundings fertile land by units disposable of waste and chemicals. And it is also the responsibility to see that the land is not affected due to the disposal of the waste and the chemicals. Otherwise, the society does not hesitate to taking the final actions such as social exclusion of the unit. Okay, so this is the first sectors of the environment preservation. Then second one is preservations of the water resources. Arrangements of disposal of polluted liquid and the solid waste during the production process of a unit should be done. Thus, the unit has to look after that external and underground water resources does not get the polluted. So, proper arrangements of disposable polluted liquid and solid waste should also be made by the units, and also see that the underground water resources does not get the affected or polluted due to their waste which is generated during the production process. Okay, then third one is preservations of the air and other gases. A unit must have to make arrangements such as not to increase in air pollutions to manage the disposal of solid, liquid and air waste during its production process. In past, due to leakage of toxic gas in many units resulted in the loss of life and physical deformity among the children. It is a part of the social responsibility for a unit for the preservation of the general health of the society. So, a unit or a business unit also have to take care or have to make the arrangements for not to increase the air pollutions and manage the disposables of the solid, liquid and the air waste during its production process. So it is the social responsibility of the unit for the preservations of the general health of the people or the society. And the fourth sector is preventing the noise pollutions. Layout of machineries in production process and construction of a factory should such that it reduces the noise pollution. Okay, so there are 4 sectors for the environment preservation. First one is land and forest preservations, then preservations of water resources. Preservation means protection. So preservations of water resources, then preservations of air and the other gases, and the preventing of the noise pollution. Okay, so this was the various 4 different sectors of environmental preservations. Now the next and the last topic of this subject, or we can say of this chapter, is business ethics. Set of accepted principles and standards for behavior and character is business ethics. So what is the meaning of ethics? Ethics means the rules and the principles. In short, we can say the behavior of any business. It is a set of accepted principles and the standards for behavior and character is business ethics. A good behavior, good nature, like if people follows all the principles and rules, if people have a good behavior towards each other, towards the people, towards the society, that is known as the business ethics. Discussion and implementations of such principles and standards happens in business ethics, which decides and implements what is right and what is wrong in human relations. For example, fraud, bribe, etc. In other words, we can also say ethics means understanding of what is wrong and what is right. For example, you all know that fraud, then bribe, they are wrong thing, right? It is the inbuilt behavior in humans' nature which tell us that this is wrong and this is right. Right? So you all know that fraud or like bribery is a wrong thing. So it is an inbuilt nature in every human which understands that this is wrong and this is right. So basically that means the ethics. The main difference between principles of ethics rules and legal regulations is that ethics principles cannot be implemented by the authority, while it is possible in legal regulations. If business units properly adopt the ethical principles in the society and also expect from each business unit that they perform their activities with ethical values. Mostly, violations of business ethics occurs when a businessman hopes for speedy and the more profit. But as per the common observations, the unit that are able to maintain ethical standards is exist and survive for a long period and can achieve the good economic growth as well. Okay, so this is the meaning of the business ethics. Now let's look at the elements of business ethics. Ethical behavior is good for both business and the society. If a unit has elements of values and ethics in its day-to-day transactions, then only the right atmosphere can be set up in the unit. So in that, the first element is commitment of the top-level management. Role of top-level management remains crucial in the success of ethical behavior, and the top-level officers of the unit always need to be committed to achieve its results. To be bound with the values, they have to inspire behavior of the entire unit by their leadership. Okay, so first one is commitment of the top-level management. Then second element is publishing the directional rules. For providing ethical behavior directions to the employees of the unit, the higher management should have to publish the guidelines in the written form. So the management have to publish the rules or guidelines in a written form so that the employees can understand how to behave, what is the rules of the business unit. So it should be published in written form so that the employees can get inspirations and directions in the different situations. Then third one is structural formations. The decisions taken by the unit obeys the ethical principles of the unit to ensure the same appropriate infrastructure should be created for its implementations. Okay, so the decision which is taken by the unit should obey. Obey means follow the ethical principles of the unit so that the infrastructure can be created. Proper infrastructure can be created. Then fourth one is participation in decisions. Employees' participation in decision making makes the ethical values successful. So if employees participate in the decision makings, then the ethical values become successful. And the last one is evaluations of results. Usually, an ethics are the matter of qualitative concepts becomes concept of ethical standard, which can be learned by the feedback from the different categories associated with the units. So this is the evaluation of results. Evaluation of results means comparison at the end, seeing the results, what is the results if the ethical values or ethical rules are followed. So these were the 5 elements of business ethics. So with this, now we are done with the chapter 11 and also the whole syllabus of this subject. So now I want you guys to go through the points which is given at the end of the chapter and also try to solve the textbook exercise questions. Okay, so if you have any questions or any doubts, please feel free to comment below the video. Thank you.